Hey guys, James from SIKKY Manufacturing. Today I'm going to show you a step-by-step installation guide on how you can install the SIKKY radiator and radiator hoses in your E30. Alright, so as you can see, this radiator's already been removed. That was one of the first couple steps before we got the factory motor out. This is in process with one of our turnkey swaps, so it's already got the LS motor installed. As you can see, the AC condenser's in here because we're going to continue to run air conditioning with this particular car, and the radiator is designed to work with the factory BMW AC system. The other thing to note is it uses all the factory mounting locations, so even though it's an LS swap radiator, you're going to utilize the factory plastic cups that are down on the bottom side, just the way the OEM radiator fits in, and same with the top mount for the E30s and the side clips for the E36. So first step, we're going to get the parts we need installed onto the radiator that we're going to remove from the factory radiator, which is the two rubber bushings at the bottom. And once we get that done, we can drop the thing down in there. Alright, so a couple key features, like I mentioned, these are your factory rubber mounts that go on the posts of your factory E30 radiator. So we designed this radiator to utilize the same style mounting points. So first step, you're going to take these off your factory radiator and slide these onto the posts. If for some reason you're missing them and you don't have them, you're going to need to get them, but they are available through multiple parts sources, so it shouldn't be a big deal. This side also comes with a port that we use to attach the steam vent port into here, and then this goes to your overflow. And like I said, these are the factory mounting points for the E30, where you have that OEM piece that has the two rubber bushings that sit down here and press this down. And then we also incorporate the E36 clip mounts, so this radiator effectively works for E30 and E36. And we believe it'll work for E46, we just haven't tested it yet, so we'll let you guys know that in the future. But at this point, it's pretty much ready to drop in, so we got the rubber mounts on the bottom, and we can set this thing down into place. As you can see, this is the OEM cup I was talking about that the factory rubber bushings sit in that are on the posts on the SIKKY radiator. So you're going to line those rubber round bushings up with these factory little cups that are in here, and that's what locates the radiator left to right and front to back and secures the bottom half. So now we're going to carefully lower the radiator down in, so make sure you don't hit the crank pulley on the way in. It's a snug fit, but it does fit really well. Just got to kind of shimmy it around a little bit and get it past the drain bung on this right side here, and then you can feel it starts to line up with the factory mounting points. And you can see once it finds its spot on there, it's leveled out and really snug. There's no left or right movement. You got enough clearance to do what you need to do in here, but pretty solid fit and still plenty of room. This is the LS1, LS2 style fan or water pump pulley. So this is one of the bigger ones that are out there, and it clears that fine. You can see the two radiator fans sit down below that, so there's still plenty of room to come out here with one of the SIKKY tight radius intakes. So fits great. Now we're going to move on to mounting the top side, and then we can keep rolling. Alright, so now we're going to take the OEM upper mount. If you are missing this, you're going to need this as well. This whole radiator is designed around the OEM mounting points. Again, this is for an E30. E36 is going to have the clip style that pinches down on this seam of the radiator support here. So pretty basic. You line up these two bushings with the two holes in the top of the radiator, press them down in there, and then slide the back clip portion down over the sheet metal, push it down, and then that locks everything in, and then use the factory hardware through these holes to lock this down to the sheet metal. And then once it's tight, you can see this thing's not going anywhere. It's got proper clearance all the way around. Shouldn't have any contact with sheet metal. For some reason your car's a little bent up, make sure you look at it, because a little bit of a tap of a hammer here and there, if for some reason your sheet metal is not perfect, just make sure that steel's not touching aluminum, because over time, vibrations, steel can cut right through this end tank, and then you've got a radiator leak. But if everything's straight on your car, you should be perfect. I mean, it looks like we got about a 1/4 inch all the way around, so now we're ready to move on to the next step. Now to make this LS swap radiator kit for the E30 and E36 even easier for installation, we went and designed some custom radiator hoses meant exactly for this swap radiator in those chassis. So this particular hose kit is designed for the LS1 and LS2 water pump locations, and it works perfectly with our radiator. Now keep in mind, these are designed for the SIKKY radiator. These won't work with some random radiator you have because the fitment and placement of these is pretty precise. But at the time of filming this video, we've designed LS3 hoses too, but they're just not available right now. So check back if you've got an LS3, and hopefully we'll make your life easier on that one as well. But like I said, these are designed for the E36 as well. They're a different part number, but we're going to be using the E30 radiator hose kit today, which also comes with the needed clamps. There's 3 larger clamps and 1 smaller one for the small end of the water pump housing. So it makes this install super easy, and you don't have to worry about kinking hoses or piecing multiple hoses together. It's just a problem with, you know, creating potential leaks and weaknesses. So super simple setup. I'm going to show you how to get these on here in a sec. We'll note that it helps a little bit if you put a little bit of lube on these, makes it a little bit easier so you're not fighting them on there as much, but really simple install. Let's knock it out. All right, so these are form specific. There's one way this hose will go on. This goes to the radiator, this goes to the thermostat housing. You can't flip this around, it's not gonna work. So the shorter end is the one that goes to the radiator. I would recommend getting your clamps on there, at least get them out of the way. It's gonna be really tough to get them on afterwards. Again, there's not a lot of clearance, and make sure you lube these up. So I like to start getting the bottom one on first, then you basically can kink this thing back, get the top started, and then slide it up on. So it's a little bit of a fight, but either way, it does make, once you get it on there, it makes it look pretty simple. So get the first one all the way on, and then like I said, you can bend this back, push the hose down, kind of kink it, fold it over itself, and then slide the top on, and you can see extremely tight fit, but since these hoses were designed specifically for this, it fits great, and there's no kinks or anything like that. So now we're ready to just tighten up these clamps. All right, so now we're going to tighten up this clamp from the bottom side. Get it nice and snug, and that's it. All right, so now it's time to get this upper radiator hose on. Same process. Start the clamp. The smaller one's going to go on the smaller end, which is towards the water pump side. Make sure you position your clamps so they're easy to get to as far as tightening them up and out of the way, so you don't have any issues with interference or something like that getting in the way. So we're gonna get this one started, and this one's a lot easier than the lower one. So just slide that on there and rotate this down and slide that on there, get it back into position, and then we're just going to tighten up these clamps, and that's it. All right, so that's a wrap on our step-by-step installation guide in this E30. As you can see, fairly simple installation. Keep in mind, if you have an E36, the install is going to be very similar to this, and with the minor adjustments for the different mounting brackets that this radiator incorporates both styles. So one size fits all here. Keep in mind too, these radiator hoses are designed to work with the SIKKY radiator only, and they make this install super easy. Also, make sure you check out our coolant hose kit, which runs from the heater core, the firewall, and covers all the lines and connections you need to make at the water pump as well as the overflow tank.